Hey guys, thanks for tuning into my video. I'm really humbled. The channel is starting to grow and I really appreciate that, and sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it. I'm going to do my best to try and make better and better videos, and hopefully I can provide content that you can get something out of or help you in some way, shape, or form. If you have any constructive criticisms, please put them down in the comments. If you're a returning viewer or a subscriber, I really appreciate you. I genuinely appreciate you. Don't get millions of views, but I'm happy with anything. You know, anything is better than nothing. If 100 people view my video, that's amazing to me. That's incredible. 100 people took the time to look at my video. So I'm going to do my absolute best, and hopefully it's going to get better and better and better to provide the content that you need and not waste your time. With that being said, I have a awesome suspension hack that I've been using on my Subarus for years. It's really going to stiffen things up and make it so it can haul more and load more into it, and it'll corner far superior. You might like this, and it's a really cheap, easy modification to do. So we're installing the two-way adjustable coil spring expander tensioners today. And these are dirt cheap. Well, 12 bucks a set. One set does the back or the front. So you got to buy 2 packs of these, which I did if you want to do them all the way around. Come with black bolts. See those? But on mine, I cut up some all thread because I needed my studs a little longer here. Because I'm skipping, I can't quite get them pancaked between two coils, so I'm just skipping one so they're easier to put on. But what these will do, they will dramatically change the way your car, your truck, your SUV, your crossover, whatever you got rides. Now you can lower with these by compressing your coils, or you can raise and stiffen. I'm going to raise and stiffen my suspension, and these are great if you have worn out old springs or you got saggy ass syndrome. That's what a lot of Subaru guys call it. On the Legacy GTs get it pretty bad, and the Outbacks after a while. But I put these in to raise and to make it so I can haul heavier trailers with heavy tongue weight, or throw engines in the back of my car without it really sagging. And they improve my handling dramatically too, to where it almost feels like it's on rails after I do this compared to the way it was. It just handles so much tighter and better, in my opinion. These are tricky to get in, especially this inside one. It's like a puzzle every time. I gotta figure out how to do it. I can't remember. And I just did one last night, and you'd think I would remember this. You gotta be smarter than what you're working with, kid. It's just worth it. To me anyway, because the amount of weight I'm putting in these poor old Subarus is pretty significant on a daily, at least 1,000 pounds of tools on a daily basis. And they will squat real low, and the tires will scrub and rub if I don't modify my rear suspension. Now before I go crazy on this one, I'm going to put in, before I tighten this inside bolt, I'm going to put in the outside bolt, because these will start twisting inwards and I won't be able to get on that outside bolt. Ask me how I know. I prefer a rougher ride and better cornering. Furthermore, I think it helps acceleration
it takes a lot of energy. Suspension, especially rear and soft suspension, will absorb a lot of torque off your transmission and drivetrain loss. If you don't believe me, go ride a bike with full suspension, like a bicycle, you know, those ones, and then ride one without, and you'll see the difference. You get way more tired on the bike with full suspension because it's absorbing that energy, some of it, when you're pedaling. So I use a pair of vice grips with these two, so this stud I made don't spin, and I just put them on like that. And then I also made a special wrench. I ground down a cheap yard sale wrench I had, as you can see, and that allows me to get in there. With a normal wrench, I can't quite get in there and turn these, not as much anyway. Now I'm being greedy here and I'm pushing it, which is my style, but really you don't need to expand your strut as much. If you just want a stiffer ride, or you want reinvigorate your old worn out struts, maybe you have to replace them, you don't want to quite replace them yet, then you can just do them tight, but you don't have to go crazy and expand these. You just make them tight, and that'll be enough to stiffen up your ride quite a bit. Obviously, the more I expand these, the riskier it is. I'm more apt to snap a coil spring when I hit a rough pothole, or, you know, there's liabilities that come with it. And then there's also blocks you can get that you beat in between here, and they're made out of a type of plastic, like polyurethane, I think, blocks, or PV, whatever they are. And you beat them in between here, and they make it so your strut, parts of your coil spring, don't compress when you go over a bump, or when you have a substantial amount of weight, which narrows down, you know, and then that makes your suspension stiffer too, and it makes a pretty radical difference. And this will lift this car probably an inch and a half, probably not two, it might lift it a couple inches, but it'll lift it up quite a ways. This thing will be, I'll put them on the back, just the back too at first, and you'll see the back end will be raised up a little bit, at least an inch, I would say. With my longer studs I'm using here, I might get an inch and a half. How far do I want to push this? Now, you can tell I'm expanding the spring right now, but if I go too crazy on this side before putting this side, I might not be able to get this side in now, because I might have went too far on this side. Let me see. All right, it seems like I can get this other side on, so that's hunky-dory. All right, we got our light back. Good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna put a tire on and see how she sits. See if it looks substantially higher in the back. It'll definitely be stiffer. See how compressed these are up here, and how spaced out these are. You can kind of see how much higher it's sitting in the back as opposed to the front. I only have those strut stabilizers on the back so far, and I would say it lifted it about an inch, maybe 2 inches. Usually these sit level, or with this many miles, they have saggy ass syndrome by now, where the back, even regardless of having anything in it, it will still be squatting typically. Quite a difference. I weigh probably 225 pounds, and I'm going to get up on the back bumper and bounce, and you'll see that it'll barely
barely squat from my weight. See how much stiffer that is? Now watch when I get off. Barely any travel, so those help a lot. Well, folks, that does it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, I really appreciate you tuning in for the first time. Check out my other videos. You might find something you like. And until the next time, you stay frosty, be impeccable with your word, do your best, don't take anything personally, and don't do anything Jesus wouldn't do. Thank you.